Hey, you ever try to tell your crush you really know nothing about that you like them, but instead your bitch ass says that you're their fan, and it turns out they have some public acclaim as a manga creator, and while they're trying to figure out why you randomly came up to them to say that, you're questioning every decision you've ever made and why you even exist in the first place, and then all of a sudden you have a piece of paper with your crush's signature on it?
No, I have to remain loyal to my wife who so I have crushes.
Okay, well, some people aren't cringy as fuck. If this has ever happened to you, then you could relate to Gekkan Shoujo Nozaki-kun. And I mean, we've all been through that. We've all been there.
Hi, and welcome back to Pretty Good Anime, where we review your shitty Chinese cartoons and tell you what we think about them. Gekkan Shoujo Nozaki-kun is a lighthearted comedy slice of life anime that leaves you wondering, are some people really like that? Characters in the show are super fun, but if I met any of them in real life, I'd have a brain aneurysm just listening to them talk. Except Nozaki-kun. He's not stupid. So, Sakura. She's a nice girl, has a huge crush on Nozaki, but every time she tries to tell him that, it's misinterpreted or comes out wrong, like I'm a big fan, which is what really gets the show started. After that first engagement, where she kind of accepts her fate and rolls with it for most of the show because she's embarrassed to try again and she's kind of a baby. Now Nozaki, on the other hand, is a pretty cool guy who writes manga and spends most of his time doing that in some way, shape, or form. He's not really into people because he's mostly just watching everyone else in social situations for his manga. So because of that, he's uncomfortably oblivious to his surroundings, namely with Sakura.
The other characters are just exaggerated character types that tend to break away from the normal character tropes they're representing in just one unique way. Like Mikoshiba, he's a huge flirt that all the girls like. Usually that character trope stops there and doesn't get any more complicated than that. Mikoshiba's one unique trait is that he gets really embarrassed after saying all that flirty stuff he does and ceases to function like your stereotypical Catholic schoolgirl would. So now that you know some of the characters, the show is overall about having fun, making new pals, doing coloring books with those new pals, and uncomfortable romantic tension. Overall, I like this show. The situations all the characters are in is close to real life, but it's a cartoon, so it's exaggerated in some ways, so it does a good job of being relatable and remembering the most important rule of comedy. Humor is derived from fear. School is scary. Romance is scary. Talking to people is scary. The threat of being beaten to death by a shorter than average man is scary. We've all had those fears, and I think that's where Gekkan Shoujo Nozaki-kun really excels. I also like how the manga that Nozaki writes is very generic to a point it's funny, like the creator of Monthly Gross Nozaki-kun is making fun of shoujo mangas in general when the story itself started out as a shoujo manga. There's some big differences between the two, the main difference being one is intentionally funny. Nozaki has little to no intention of comedy in his writing. He's a very sober and down-to-earth guy who takes his manga very seriously, but it's way too serious. If you've ever read any manga or seen any anime that was made for a 14-year-old girl that's about 15 years old or older, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. The pentagon heads, the uncomfortably similar hair, the insanely predictable storyline, 20 dozen love triangles, characters always wearing school uniforms because it's too much to work to put them in any other setting or scenario other than school. Oh wait. To show you what I mean, I bought about $60 worth of manga just to prove a point. Everyone's getting married. Obviously, Sailor Moon falls under that category too. Love Dick. No idea what it's about, but it's got the looks. Fruits Basket. I had to buy the 3-volume version because there was they didn't have just one. I don't even like Fruits Basket. That was $18. I don't even like Fruits Basket. Why am I doing this? But the creator for Nozaki-kun does a good job adding little bits in that makes fun of the old conventional mangas like that. Like when Nozaki said he liked the face so much that he made the 3 male characters look exactly the same, fighting over for the same girl. Like they were exactly the same, and all 3 came into frame at once, and I think the only difference was the shirt they were wearing, how they were wearing it. It was the same shirt because they were in school, but I think they're wearing it differently. I'm gonna put in the video over this, and I'm gonna be completely wrong. Just watch.
So, was this a pretty good anime? I like fireworks too.
Don't say that shit.